We are Markham. We are Wisconsin.
The scene in Milwaukee couldn't be better on the nation's most patriotic holiday. Happy 4th of July, everybody. It's the return home for the Brewers as they host the Diamondbacks, who put one of the hottest pitchers in the league right now in Daniel Hudson on the mound, going for his 7th straight win. Sean Markham will counter, looking to win for the first time in 4 starts for the Brew Crew. That's your pitching matchup today, and they both have a tough task trying to slow down the top 2 home run hitting teams in the National League. B and Rock taking closer to first pitch next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Just a beautiful day for baseball. Independence Day at America's heartland, and no better way to spend it than at the ballpark. Prince Fielder leading the way for the Brewers, the 2 top home run hitting teams in all of the National League here. Chris Young, he sets the pace for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We are just about set for game 1 of this 3-game series. Happy 4th of July to everyone. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us today. Hope you're enjoying your backyard barbecue, and glad you could make us a part of your schedule. Brock, let's talk about these 2 teams. They swing the bats well, a lot of firepower with these offenses.
Yeah, both of these teams score a lot of runs and rely heavily on the home run ball. The Diamondbacks have 4 guys in double digits. The Brewers with 3. It's going to come down to which pitching staff is going to be able to keep the baseball in the ballpark.
2 of the best pitchers on their respective staffs as well, matching up against these powerhouse offenses. You've got Sean Markham on the mound for the Brewers, Daniel Hudson for the D-backs. Great to be back at Miller Park. The Brewers are going to need some of that home cooking. They need to get back to winning ways. Game 1 is coming up between the Brewers and the D-backs. It's going to be Counsell. Long throw in time. An absolute masterpiece here tonight. And Ron Renicky, you have your first victory as a Major League manager.
Each season, magical moments become memories, and often in baseball, often in sports, the athletes that create them are referred to as heroes. But this afternoon, on the 4th of July, America's pastime celebrates this great nation's birthday and those who protect it. The men and women, sons and daughters, the mothers and fathers, and brothers and sisters who have fought and sacrificed for the freedom to play this wonderful game. Today may be just one game out of 162, but the freedom to play is why we are thankful this afternoon.
And we invite you to join Major League Baseball in helping the military veterans who have done so much to help us. You can log on to MLB.com. WelcomeBackVeterans.org for more information on how you can make a difference. Set for baseball. Sean Markham ready to deliver his first pitch. It's a strike. And away we go on a beautiful Monday, Independence Day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. Brandon Cruz is with us. Producer Chris Withers, director Michael Odino. Great to have you with us today. As Kelly Johnson lifts one to deep center field. Niger Morgan is there, one away in the first inning. So the Arizona Diamondbacks start this homestand for the Brewers. The Reds will come in next. Kirk Gibson's Diamondbacks in a pennant race. They are 3 back of the San Francisco Giants to start play today. Kelly Johnson, Stephen Drew, Justin Upton at the top. In the middle of the order, it is Chris Young, Miguel Montero, Sean Burrows, Juan Miranda, Gerardo Parra, and Daniel Hudson round out the Piggly Wiggly batting order for Arizona. And a team that, as we mentioned in the open, swings the bat with authority. A lot of home runs between these two teams. This afternoon, Brian Gorman will call the balls and strikes. He's the crew chief. Tony Randazzo, Larry Vanover, and Manny Gonzalez on the bases. And Rock, how about the numbers for Sean Markham?
Yeah, Markham making his 18th start at 3.16 earned run average. His last 3 starts, I think a little bit has to do with his hip flexor injury. Hasn't been able to eat up too many innings. 5 innings his last time out against New York in a loss.
Brewers coming off a very rough road trip. Milwaukee winning just 1 game out of the 6 on the schedule. And a tough loss yesterday, giving up a 6-1 lead early to the Minnesota Twins. The lone win came at Target Field on Saturday, and it was a dramatic come-from-behind victory. And the Brewers are hoping this success at home continues during the 7-game homestand before the All-Star break. The Brewers at 29-11 at home this year as Markham strikes out Stephen Drew on his bread and butter changeup. Check the defense behind Markham. Marcotte starting in left for Braun. You got Morgan and Hart with him in the outfield. McGee, Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder go around the horn. Jonathan Lucroy does the catching. Plains Farm and Fleet Brewers defense. Braun's going to miss another start today, possibly tomorrow. They are unsure about his strained calf right now. The decision is to push it or not, and whether he could further injure himself or not. So for the time being, Braun is unavailable, and he will not be available to pinch hit for Ron Renicky, and that had a direct effect on the roster move, or the lack of a roster move earlier today.
Might still need that extra position player, but the encouraging thing about Ryan Braun, he came to the ballpark yesterday and said it felt a lot better than he thought it was going to, but you got to err on the side of caution with Braun. If he goes out there and pulls that, completely pulls it and tears it, he's going to be out for 2 months.
Understandably so. The Brewers being very cautious with Ryan Braun. No balls and 2 strikes on Justin Upton. Popped him up. Weeks is back. Hart is in. Corey wants it. And that is a good start for Sean Markham. The Brewers coming to bat against Daniel Hudson. this clubhouse loose, and the Brewers certainly loose when they come to Miller Park. They enjoy playing here. They've had a lot of success this year. And here is Renick's Piggly Wiggly batting order today. It is Ricky Weeks, Nyjer Morgan, Corey Hart. The middle of the order, a bit of a change. You've got Fielder in the cleanup spot. Then Betancourt gets his turn in the 5-hole. Marcotte batting 6th. The bottom 3, McGee, Lucroy, and Markham. And the Brewers will match up against a tough right-hander, a 9-game winner, Daniel Hudson. Rocky comes in 9-5 with an ERA under 3.5.
And he's won 6 in a row. The Diamondbacks have won 8 of his last 9 starts. He is a good one. He's also got a very good changeup. So it's going to be the battle of the changeups here this afternoon in Milwaukee.
Yeah, 2 pitchers that go about their business in much the same fashion. 2 teams that go about their business the same way. As Hudson starts Ricky Weeks with strike 1. Weeks got a great ovation when he was introduced. His first home game since being announced as an all-star and an all-star starter. Ricky Weeks. Weeks has been struggling at the plate lately. He did have a home run yesterday in the 6th inning. It was a solo home run, his 15th of the year. But it was a rough road trip for Weeks at the plate. Hoping to turn that around here at Miller Park. Bouncing ball to Kelly Johnson, and he bobbles. And Weeks is aboard on an error. Not a good start for the Diamondbacks defensively. That was about as routine as it gets.
Well, the Diamondbacks coming in with 49 errors in the top half of the National League. And now tied with the Brewers for 50 errors. I'm not sure what happened there. It was a high fastball, and it couldn't have been any easier for Johnson, and he just booted it.
That is his 5th error. He played it into the tough hop, and Weeks is aboard for Morgan. Now runs figure to be at a premium today with Daniel Hudson. And Morgan always a good bet with Weeks on in front of him to drop a bunt down. Morgan swings away to center. And it's Chris Young who will make the catch for out number 1. Let's check the Diamondbacks defensively. You've seen Kelly Johnson. The outfield is Parra, Young, and Upton. Sean Burroughs, very interesting story. Back in the big leagues. He's a 3rd. Stephen Drew, Kelly Johnson, and Juan Miranda. And Miguel Montero behind the plate. Kirk Gibson managing the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he has them off to a pretty good start. They had a extremely hot month, or really a little over 3 weeks when it was all said and done, to put them in the picture in the National League West.
Now you're talking about a stretch, and it started in May 13th to June 4th, where they were so hot. They were 18-4. They went from 5.5 games back to a half a game in first place. Other than that, they've been very average this year, but they did have that really good run.
Now Corey Hart back in the 3-hole again today for Ryan Braun. Braun was injured Saturday night trying to leg out a bunt. Had to be taken out of the game. That was the night the Brewers had the great comeback. George Kataris ended up hitting in Braun's spot in the batting order, and he drove in the game-winning run. But the Brewers are missing the bat of Ryan Braun. Renick's had to shuffle that lineup. It looked like Hart was going to be the one who would get the most at-bats in the 5-hole behind Fielder, which has been such a tough spot to cover for Renick and the Brewers this year. But with Braun out as well, Hart moves into the 3 spot, and now Yuniesky Betancourt takes over that spot. This was the injury Saturday. Braun racing his way to the bag, and he pulled up. He said he injured it during the bunt attempt, the at-bat previous. And it finally grabbed him, and he had to come out.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to have Brawny push it. It's still before the All-Star break. The Brewers, you would figure, with the way things are going in the National League Central, to stay in the race, you're going to need Brawny. So if you miss him for a week, that's a lot better than missing him for a lot longer than that in the second half.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Hart. 3-2 the count. And just for some context, the Brewers and the Diamondbacks, the exact same records coming in, 45 wins, 40 losses. And the Diamondbacks 3 back of the Giants in their division, while the Brewers are in a first place tie with the Cardinals. Weeks takes off. Hart bangs one over to third. Burrows goes to second for the out, and the turn is in time. Hart wasn't running. So the inning is over. The Diamondbacks turn an unlikely double play. And that's that for the Crew in the first, and Hudson works around a leadoff error.
Now, but the Brewers very happy to be back home. They have the best winning percentage in the majors at .725. They're 29-11. Their average is nearly 40 points better than it is on the road when they're at home. Also 55 home runs at home. They score nearly 5.5 runs per game here, and their ERA just above 3.5 runs a game. So they love being back. And Ryan Braun was telling me he was very happy summer has finally reached Milwaukee. Guys?
Yeah, warm temperatures, the roof open, plenty of sunshine today. Just a great day for baseball here. And the Brewers are certainly showing that they enjoy playing here with that 29-11 record. And they've needed every inch of it this season. As Chris Young pops it up to Betancourt, out #1 in the second inning for Markham.
Well, I guess you could say that although the Brewers' interleague record was not that good, they were below 500 in interleague play. They weathered the interleague storm. Everybody was pointing to how tough the interleague schedule was for the Brewers. When the schedule came out, and they said if they could weather that storm and stick around and be close through that stretch, that they would be happy. But the success that they've had at home and the success that they had before interleague play is why they're still in first place.
Now the Brewers with the best winning percentage at home, the worst on the road in the National League at 16-29, and they get through interleague play 6-9 for the year. Arizona had a winning record in interleague despite losing yesterday in Oakland. The Diamondbacks go 10-8 in their interleague schedule, included games against Oakland, Cleveland, Detroit, and Kansas City. They also had a series against the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, the Yankees with the best interleague record this year, 13-5. The worst was the Houston Astros, 4-11.
Arizona starting a 3-city road trip here today in Milwaukee. They've had an interesting travel schedule, the Diamondbacks. They came to the Midwest for interleague against Kansas City and Detroit. They went home to play the Indians and then all the way out to Oakland before returning back to the Midwest late last night to start this series with Milwaukee. They'll have the Cardinals next in St. Louis prior to the All-Star break. That'll be a 10-game, 10-day road trip for Arizona. As Montero lifts one high in the air to left. Kotze fighting with the sun, and he's got it for the out. 2 outs in the inning. The Arizona Diamondbacks rock a 45-40 record, 3 back of the Giants. San Francisco getting separate themselves from the Diamondbacks a little bit, but Arizona feels like they're just as much in it as anyone right now. But there are a few spots in their rotation, in their bullpen, and in their lineup that they'll try to cover here as we get towards the trade deadline.
Yeah, you can't rely on the home run all the time. And the Brewers certainly hit a lot of home runs, but they're able to manufacture runs. The one issue that the Diamondbacks have right now, and it's not going to be a long-term problem, J.J. puts their closer on the disabled list. He has a bad elbow. The bottom of their rotation, talking about the Diamondbacks, has not been very good. Hudson's been far and away their best. He's won 9 of his last 10 starts after starting out 0-4. Kirk Gibson has these guys playing some pretty aggressive baseball. They make his players accountable for what they do out there. And that's the kind of a player he was when he was a player back in the days with the the Detroit Tigers and the Dodgers.
Sean Burroughs in the starting lineup for Gibson today. And in fair territory, Kotze makes the play. And 6 up, 6 down, retired by Markham. Bottom of the second inning at beautiful Miller Park, Milwaukee. And our Powerball home run leaderboard, Fielder leads the way with 21. Braun out of the lineup again today with 16. Weeks hit number 15 yesterday for the most prolific home run hitting team in the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers. Fielder leads off, takes strike 1 from Hudson. Prince with 21 homers, 69 runs batted in. That leads the National League to start play today. It's a bit of a down road trip as well. Milwaukee struggled offensively on the road trip, with the exception of a terrific comeback on Saturday. Fielder will be making his home run derby selections tomorrow. New format this year for the home run derby. Prince Fielder is the captain for the National League, and he's wearing the stars on the back of his jersey, indicating he's an all-star. That's a new wrinkle this season.
Nice.
So you'll see Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun and Ricky Weeks with the 2 stars next to the logo.
Good eye. I didn't catch that. Well done.
Just think if it was like football, right, where they put, you know, like a Buckeye on there every time you did something well, or a skull and crossbones.
Were you tipped off on that? I didn't get that email as usual.
You know, Rock, you just like to just take in all of your surroundings as they come. Big conference call earlier today. Discuss the all-star branding of players. I thought you were on that call.
I assume you were on it.
I sworn you were on there. Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong.
I got in late last night.
In the air, foul territory with the shift on. That is a long haul for Sean Burroughs and no chance to get it. Speaking of the All-Star game, you can watch Prince Fielder and the rest of the All-Stars gather together in the Arizona desert. It's the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th. Live from Phoenix, 7 Central, only on Fox. As Fielder is down on strikes.
Boy, that's a nice changeup. That is one of the better changeups that you'll see. He's got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball to go with it. And he's got that unusual slot, kind of the high three-quarters delivery. He keeps that shoulder closed a long time, which allows him to hide the baseball a little bit longer to left-handed hitters. He also has a cutter to go with his fastball and his changeup. That changeup's a good pitch.
He has pitched like an ace for the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. Daniel Hudson, 24 years of age, facing Yuniesky Betancourt with one away in the second.
Take a look at the arm slot for Daniel Hudson. High three-quarters, but the thing that makes it tough for lefties, he keeps that front shoulder closed a long time. And when you do that, you hide the baseball. It comes flying out of there right at the last minute and makes it very difficult for right-handers and left-handed hitters as well. Normally guys that'll throw a little bit sidearm like Hudson, lefties can pick the ball up pretty well, but not with him.
2 balls and a strike on Betancourt. And a big chopper over to Burroughs. And a nice play for out number 2.
And just keep an eye on that front shoulder. That's the key to his success with all of his pitches. He just keeps that front shoulder closed until right at the last second. And the ball and the shoulder fly open about the same time, making it tough to pick up early.
You can see the rotation that he has in the way he finishes. He actually is a side rotation as he comes off the mound. It was a steal of a trade for the Arizona Diamondbacks last year. He was teammates with Mark Kotsay with the White Sox last season. And the White Sox made a trade. They acquired Edwin Jackson. Jackson had thrown a no-hitter for Arizona earlier in the season last season. And there wasn't much of a book on the surface about Daniel Hudson. As a matter of fact, when the headlines came down, Diamondbacks get Hudson, you're thinking Tim Hudson's going to Arizona. Wow, what a trade. And it was the lesser famed Hudson, Daniel Hudson, but boy, is he making a name for himself in his second full season in the big leagues.
Yeah, last year, well, he was 7-1 with a 169 earned run average. That's not bad.
Kotsay, a little bouncer. Hudson fields his position well, and he makes a play for the out. And both pitchers off to good starts. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. Still filing in Miller Park, and a big crowd coming in to see this one. 4th of July baseball. Yeah, good start so far for both pitchers. Sean Markham has retired 6 in a row. Has a strikeout. He faces the bottom third of the order. Juan Miranda, Arizona's first baseman. Now, unlike the Brewers, who have plenty of big names and obviously indicated as the 3 all-star starters in Weeks, Fielder, and Braun, but they've got some firepower with name recognition. The Diamondbacks don't really have the big names. They are still hitting home runs, though. They do have Chris Young and Justin Upton. And Upton is the Diamondbacks all-star on the position player side. But they've got a platoon going at first base, Rock. They've got a revolving door at third base. It's impressive that they've been able to win as much as they have without established lockdown positions in the corner outfield, the corner infield spots.
And they go as far as their starting pitching. You know, Joe Saunders has been throwing the baseball well. Of course, we've been talking about Daniel Hudson. But it's all about the home runs. The Diamondbacks have 4 hitters in double digits in home runs, including Kelly Johnson, their leadoff hitter, and Roberts, who is not in the starting lineup here today.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Miranda. He pulls one over to Fielder, and Prince will take it to the bag for out number 1. That leads us to our carsoup.com email the booth question. Neil wants to know, does Arizona have the talent to win the NL West?
Well, they certainly have the potential for big offense because of the home run power. It's going to come down to their pitching, as it will for every team. They're fighting the Giants in the division right now. Colorado, you would think that those guys are going to rear their heads at some point. They're only 6.5 games back. But there aren't too many starting rotations better than the San Francisco Giants. Matt Cain, an all-star, Lincecum. They're guys like that. So it's going to come down to pitching, and they have to get their pitching together. You know, the Diamondbacks also have a couple of reclamation projects.
As Gerardo Parra singles back up the middle, the first hit for the Diamondbacks. It comes with 1 away in the 3rd.
And a couple of guys that were big prospects in organizations that disappeared from baseball for a while, including Willie Mo Pena and Sean Burroughs. 2 guys that were gone from baseball and now back. Diamondbacks giving him an opportunity. And Parra, one of their more consistent hitters this year, able to pick on a high curveball from Markham and get the first hit of the game.
So here is Daniel Hudson, who handles the bat well. Hudson has a batting average over 300. He's hitting .303 this year. 10 hits and 33 at bats. And he has driven in 7 runs this season. That's a lot of production from the pitcher spot. 7 RBIs in just 33 at bats.
And they might have the best hitting pitcher in baseball right now in Micah Owings in their bullpen. Pitchers that can help themselves at the plate.
Hudson up there to bunt again, and Markham keeps Parra close. Hudson and Zach Duke, who is also in the Diamondback starting rotation, driving in a ton of runs this year.
Yeah, Zach Duke's got 2 home runs this year. Hit a home run in his first start with the Diamondbacks. Of course, he's hitting the ball better than he's throwing it. He's having a rough season on the mound, but swinging the bat pretty well.
Zach Duke will be on the mound tomorrow. Left-hander will match up against Randy Wolf. Duke's ERA is near 6. And that gets by Fielder. And Parra is on his way to second, thinking about third. Now he goes. Weeks throw to third base, and it's not in time. Parra takes 2 bases on the throwing error.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Prince just whiffed on the throw. Not sure if the background, the sun is shining brightly beyond third base. You're not sure if Prince lost it in the sun a little bit, the brightness behind him, but that's certainly a ball you got to be able to handle. Looked like he tried to put a tag on before he had the baseball, and that's a mistake you can't make. And Parra, with good hustle, gets to third base. Those are the kind of things that the Brewers usually do on the road, not at home.
A close play over at third. Looked like McGee might have gotten the tag on him, but Parra's feet were there first. And safe is the call. You see the background. That's the same angle that Fielder is looking at. Yeah,
that's a pretty good slide.
Looked like he got a hand in there. Good call by Manny Gonzalez. So the infield is in now. And a bouncing ball foul from Hudson. Changes the inning. Hudson up there to try to drop a bunt down to advance Parra to second for the top of the order. Now he can swing away. And the Brewers forced to bring their infield in.
And that's 3 straight games with an error for Prince Fielder after playing some pretty good defense all year.
In and out of the glove of Lucroy. Hudson stays alive. So both clubs with errors. Hudson pitched around a Kelly Johnson error in the first inning. And now Markham trying to do the same here in the third. He could use a strikeout. Down on the dirt. Good block from Lucroy. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A clean shaven Sean Markham today. Been nursing that hip injury. And some short starts since that injury came up in Boston when he went just 1 inning. There's a swing and a miss. That's what he needed, a strikeout of the pitcher. Hudson goes down. And that'll allow the Brewers to loosen up defensively with 2 outs.
A good slider. Perfect right off the outside corner. Hudson tried to pull it. And way out in front. But yeah, Markham in his last 3 starts have only been able to go 8 innings. And that's very unusual for him. I think that he's ready to go today.
Now Markham had a 13 start stretch where he went a minimum of 6 innings, 13 consecutive starts, going at least 6. You might remember in spring training, Markham had a little tightness in his arm and his pitching arm. They shut him down for 1 start, which basically set him back 1 week. He did make his first start of the regular season, but only went 4 2/3. They were being very cautious with Markham. After that, he was one of the best pitchers in the National League for a long period of time.
Yeah, for 3 games it was 9 innings, not 8. He went 1 in Boston, 3 his next time out against Tampa Bay, and 5 innings at Yankee Stadium. He was going along pretty good until that 3-run homer by Russell Martin. That did him in.
Yeah, and Markham took a loss for the first time in the month of June. Markham's losses this year have come against the Reds in his first start. He lost against San Francisco here at home in late May, and then dropped one on the last road trip at Yankee Stadium. But he comes in with a 7-3 record and an ERA just over 3. Pitching carefully to Kelly Johnson. First and third for the Diamondbacks with Stephen Drew coming up. Gerardo Parra at third base. He had the first Diamondbacks hit Went to third on a 2-base error by Fielder. And now first and third against Markham. 2 men are out. Drew with 5 homers, 44 driven in. Markham struck him out in the first inning. There were times in the American League, opposing managers against Sean Markham would stack their lineup full of right-handed hitters. Joe Madden did that against Sean Markham because his changeup is so effective against lefties.
Right. Well, his changeup ordinarily is going to go away from left-handers and down and into right-handers, making it less effective in theory. But Markham's one of those guys who can move his changeup around quite a bit.
He's going to get out of it. They pop up fair territory to McGee, and the side retired. Markham works around a 2-base error, and 3 scoreless on the board.
Finding it out, and he may it may help. It may push him to the point where, hey, I better get this going. It's not a lack of trying from him, but maybe, who knows.
Ron Renicki's comments before the game today about Casey McGee back in the starting lineup after 2 days out of the lineup, and that was a predetermined discussion and result. Back in Minneapolis, the Brewers wanted to give Casey 2 days out of the lineup. They told him he would return on Monday, and that is exactly what they've done, because they continue to search for a way to help get McGee out of this slump that he's been in, and perhaps facing Daniel Hudson will help. He's 3 for 3 against this pitcher and made it 4 for 4. Down the line on the run is Parr. He's got a great arm. McGee on his way to second, and a double. And that is a good sign. Casey McGee doubles to start the 3rd inning.
Yeah, the Brewers really need him to get going, and hopefully that's the sign of things to come. He had a couple of good at-bats at Yankee Stadium, struggling in game 1 of the series in Minnesota, but able to tuck one inside that third baseline. Looked like a cut fastball. Casey waited back long enough, and good start to the 3rd from Milwaukee.
Now, not to go too philosophical here, but Casey McGee, you have to realize, is a guy that he has gone through a ton of adversity in his career. Just the fact that he made it to the big leagues. Obviously, he's a guy who has overcome a lot of challenges, both on and off the field, and I think the Brewers are counting on that fact and hoping that he can catch a spark and get hot, because McGee, as we've seen, when he's right at the plate, he can carry a ball club. That's what he did last year for a good measure.
And the year before, once he got in that starting lineup back in '09. But it's all about production at this level. I mean, and Casey realizes that as well as anybody. If you're not getting it done, they're going to find somebody else.
So it's Lucroy with a chance to drive in a run here in the third. Lucroy hitting .287 to start play today. He's been able to maintain a high batting average. He has 7 homers, 36 driven in. Lucroy into center field. That's going to fall. A base hit. McGee on his way to third. Will stop there. Casey had to make sure it was going to fall. And Lucroy with a single makes it first and third. The Brewers off to a good start here in the third inning.
Hey, on Friday, fans 21 and older can sample craft beer from Leinenkugels with the purchase of a $36 club outfield ticket in select sections. Call 414-902-4641 or visit brewers.com/brews. Yeah, Lucroy really has been swinging the bat well. He got jammed a little bit, was able to pull the hands in and get enough of it to dump it into center field. That was a good at bat. And the reason he was able to do that, he was thinking opposite field to try to get Casey to third.
Here's Sean Markham, and he squares the bunt, takes a ball. So the Brewers with their first 2 hits against Daniel Hudson. McGee's double followed by a Lucroy single. Markham, a college shortstop, handles the bat well. His numbers at the plate don't show it much. He's just 3 for 29 this year. But he pushes that one beautifully. McGee coming home to throw, gets away. Miranda made a decision to come to the plate. He actually looked like a good decision. They had him out at home, but
bad throw.
A bad throw, and McGee scores, and now the Brewers with a chance to open up a big inning here.
What was that, a safety squeeze? I mean, I'm anticipating Markham just dropping down a bunt to advance Lucroy to second base, but a good throw, and Casey McGee is an easy out at home plate. The Brewers very aggressive, forcing a mistake by the Diamondbacks first baseman. And still nobody out. I think the first baseman Miranda very surprised that Casey took off as well. I'm not sure it was drawn up that way, but it worked.
It was the kind of bunt that the Diamondbacks could have turned to double play. They had plenty of time to do that with all the parties involved running the bases. But McGee changed Miranda's mind at a terrible throw from 40 feet.
He wasn't ready to make a throw to home plate. It surprised him. So it gives Sean Markham a sacrifice, a fielder's choice to get to first base and an RBI.
First and second, nobody out. Top of the order. Here is Weeks.
And watch Casey McGee. Is he creeping down the line, anticipating taking home? I don't think that was a safety squeeze. I really don't. I think Casey was anticipating that throw to go to second base. And that's what Miranda, I think, was thinking about until out of the corner of his eye he saw Casey heading home.
0-2 on Ricky Weeks, and he takes one down and away. You know, as a base runner at third base in that scenario, on a ground ball to the infield, you're told to take off to home plate to avoid the double play.
Right.
Does the same principle apply there?
No.
Not on a bunt.
Well, it didn't look as though, I mean, he's sacrificing Lucroy to second base. So, I mean, I guess worst case scenario for the Brewers right there was going to be second and third, one out. You know, Markham out on the sacrifice, and what Ron Renicke's trying to do is stay out of the double play. So when you're bunting, I mean, chances of bunting into a double play are very slim, but a ball like that, a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Markham bunted that ball pretty hard, and I think it surprised Miranda that Casey took off.
On the corner, a called strike 3, a late call from Brian Gorman. And Weeks is rung up. That's a big out for Daniel Hudson.
He's got that big fastball, and he's able to catch the edge with it. Look at the way Montero holds it there. That's textbook. That's called framing a fastball in the corner. Brian Gorman sold on the good receiving by Montero and rings up Ricky Weeks.
So the first out of the inning, still runners at first and second. And here is Nigel Morgan. And Hudson finds a corner again for a strike. Morgan flew out to center field in the first inning. Comes in batting .331 with 3 homers, 17 RBIs. Caught by Hudson in self-defense. It'll turn into a double play. Boy, what a great catch. Incredible reaction time from the Arizona pitcher. And it robs the Brewers of a base hit and an RBI.
Inning, and now that means it's time for the crew in the community. The Brewers block parties are back this season, and the next one is coming up Saturday, July 9th. The second Brewers block party will take place at Tippecanoe Park in Milwaukee. All Brewers block parties feature appearances by players and coaches, the Clements famous racing sausages, and raffle prizes. All block parties are slated to begin at 11 a.m. Visit Brewers.com for more information. I know those guys love getting out there with the fans. B.A.?
Yeah, it's a great event. The block party is always a success. And we certainly encourage you to go out and catch up with some of your favorite Brewers. Tip our hat to Teddy Werner and the great job he does putting that event together. AT&T Trivia, who was the last Brewers second baseman named to the All-Star game? Last second baseman named to the All-Star game. That's nice. A good question.
Very nice.
She's got her Independence Day gear on, as does he. Ricky might have to shorten up his hair a little bit. The dreadlock's getting a little long. You don't see the All-Stars on his jersey. They're under there, though. I think the dreads are here to stay. Getting longer and longer.
They look good on you.
They work on that.
You ever think about it?
It's a skill, you know. My hair not quite right for dreadlocks.
There's nothing about you that's right for dreadlocks. Or me. Look good on Ricky, though.
I remember last year when the Pirates had Lastings Millage and Andrew McCutchen. They had a section out in the outfield called Club Dread for those two players. I think McCutchen from Pittsburgh still has the longest dreadlocks in baseball. An all-star snub, Andrew McCutchen. But it's possible he still could be placed on the all-star team, and then he and Ricky could make up their own Club Dread.
Now, what was the Manny Ramirez had going with his hair? Was that called dreadlocks?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. He's retired now. He's out of sight, out of mind.
No, but his looked a little bit different than what Ricky's got going.
He had a little more of the island feel to him.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Pirates, Pittsburgh won earlier today, and they improved to 44-41, their best 85-game start since '92. 92 is big in Pittsburgh because that was the last season the Pirates had a 500-plus season. 1992, the last time they were over 500 with a winning record. But they won again earlier today, and they are keeping the pressure on.
Game back.
Brewers and the Cardinals tied atop the division, 45-40. Pittsburgh now a game back.
Pirates had a pretty good run through the American League, 8-7. Nothing wrong with that.
They took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox in their home park. Markham strikes out Justin Upton. Good way to start the 4th inning as Markham punches out the all-star right fielder. As part of our Fox Sports Supports Charitable Initiative, we are proud to wear these pins during our 2011 MLB on Fox Sports Wisconsin season to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. And for more information, please visit standup2cancer.org/Fox Sports. Buckles the knees of Chris Young for strike 1. Markham with 3 strikeouts now. And facing the Diamondbacks' leading home run hitter, Chris Young. Pulls it foul off the end of the bat. 0-2 the count. Chris Young has been an all-star last year. And down he goes. Markham strikes him out back on the inside corner. Changing the pattern a little bit. Second time through the batting order.
Yeah, why not? Have him looking outside for the breaking ball to change up and bust him in and make sure it's a strike. You know hitters aren't going to be looking for that. They're going to take it, so you've got to pound it for a strike on the inside corner. Typically something that soft throwing lefties do very effectively.
Ball has such an unusual spin. You could really see it from our center field replay. That's the thing about Markham. He sinks it, he cuts it, he's got all kind of crazy pitches. He's got to be a joy to catch for a guy like Jonathan Lucroy. There's a lot of creativity involved. That one is hit way back, and Miguel Montero sends one deep out of the ballpark. So a mistake from Markham, and Montero, a no-doubter, ties this game at 1.
This guy's had some success against Milwaukee in his career. Very good offensive player. And he struggles a bit defensively, but he can hit. There's no question about that. Tried to come inside, left it out over the plate. That's a no-no. And Montero, the nice swing, able to drive one out of here to right. He knew it right away. That's the thing, we don't throw hard. 86, 87 miles an hour. You make mistakes, and they hit them. Didn't take long for Markham to know what that was going to result in.
10th home run of the year for Montero. And we're all even at 1. Sean Burrows on the first pitch, out to Betancourt, getting over. 1-1 ball game, the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. We head to the bottom of the 4th.
First with the pitcher, Sean Markham with the bunt, and Casey McGee with the aggressive running. He slides home. The Brewers take a 1-0 lead. It could have been a lot more if it wasn't for the quick work with the glove there. Nigel Morgan with the line drive, but then Miguel Montero in the top of the fourth hits the home run, and we are tied at 1, guys.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And the Brewers coming up here in the home fourth. Corey Hart, Prince Fielder, Yuniesky, Betancourt. Each club with a run, each club with 2 hits. Diamondbacks have committed 2 errors. And the Brewers with an error as well today. Independence Day at Miller Park. The bunting is up, and a lot of red, white, and blue. Always a great scene. Hart goes into deep center field. That is way back, and that one is gone. Corey Hart goes to straightaway center field. His 9th homer of the year, and it's 2-1 Milwaukee.
Boy, that was a rocket to center field. Hit the Miller light sign out there on the scoreboard. Oh, way back for Corey. Check that out. Right down the middle. Cut fastball that stayed right down the middle of the plate, and Corey didn't try and pull it.
As Fielder slices one foul. Hart has so much power, and that was a classic Corey Hart home run. A high towering fly ball. A 400+ foot blast into straightaway center field. So Hart now at 9 homers, 23 runs batted in. Remember, he missed the first month of the season with an oblique injury. That could be a big bat for the Brewers to count on in the second half. Fielder beats the shift, doing his best Rod Carew impersonation. And a base hit for the big fella.
And that's about as dramatic of a shift, with the third baseman playing not just where the shortstop ordinarily is, but up the middle. Well, Prince able to get on top of it, tomahawk it into left field. And Kirk Gibson saying, all right, you want to do that? That's fine. We're going to do the same thing next time up. And Hudson gave him a fastball up and away, and an easy pitch to be able to roll into left field.
A fielder who's been scuffling at the plate a little bit comes up with his first hit. And here is Betancourt coming out of his shoes against Daniel Hudson. Betancourt saw Hudson once last year when Hudson was a member of the White Sox. Betancourt was 1 out of 3. Yuniesky bounced out to third base in the second inning. So career 1 for 4. That one is in the air. Second baseman Kelly Johnson will give way to Upton for the out. 1 gone in the inning. Back to our AT&T trivia. The question today was, who was the last Brewer second baseman named to the All-Star game? And you got to go back to Fernando Vina, 1998. Actually had a hit in that game. And second baseman all time, Don Money. He was a 4-time All-Star. Paul Molitor, of course. And now Ricky Weeks, an All-Star starter. For the first time in franchise history, the Brewers have 3 starters in the All-Star game.
Yeah. And the 5th year, the Brewers have had at least 3 members of the National League All-Star team. Or National and American, for that matter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we want to send our best wishes. Congratulations to athletic trainer Dan Wright as well. He'll be representing the Brewers at the All-Star game in Arizona. They have a kind of an in-house selection of all-star athletic trainers, and that's a great honor for Dan Wright in his hometown to boot.
It makes it easy. Allows the family to participate in the festivities. No rest for the weary.
He is prepared to go to the hip, though. It's not cheap to be a participant of the All-Star game if you have family and it's in your hometown.
Yeah, no free tickets.
Kotsay rifles one to center field. Young is there for the out. Well, he got a good jump. Kotsay hit it hard. A line drive out for out number 2. And here comes Casey McGee.
Let me go back to that All-Star thing that I talked about. Since 2006, the Brewers have had at least 3 participants in the All-Star game. They had 4 in 07.
A sign of the times of the franchise and where the franchise is going. I think Mark Atanasio takes as much pride in that fact, the fact that his players are now recognized as All-Stars. So many All-Stars each and every year. McGee, a bouncer back up the middle, and another base hit. How about Casey McGee? Ron Renicky pulling the right card with McGee. He is 2 for 2 today. Daniel Hudson has never retired McGee. In his career, he is now 5 for 5 against him.
It's just amazing that some hitters see certain pitchers so well, even when other hitters are having a tough time with them. You know, Casey able to stay back nicely, picks that front leg up and sets it down. And some top spin, able to roll it into center field just out of the reach of Drew.
Well, who knows? This might be a day to mark for McGee. 4th of July. He has always had great success against Arizona. In 12 career games, a .548 batting average. 16 home run, or rather RBIs in those 12 games to go along with the 5 homers. And McGee 2 for 2 today. First and second, 2 outs for Lucroy. Lucroy singled in the 3rd inning. A little jam shot that fell in center field. Brewers had a good inning going in that 3rd. A run was in. Markham given credit for the RBI on a sacrifice bunt. He reached on a fielder's choice. But then Morgan hit a rocket back to the mound. Hudson made a great play, turned it into a double play to get the Diamondbacks out of the inning.
I don't think Hudson wants to mess around too much with Lucroy here. Got the pitcher on deck. Why mess around?
Even at the risk of loading the bases. Working around Jonathan Lucroy. Fielder at second, McGee at first. And a 3-0 is in there for a strike right at the bottom of the strike zone. We'll see if Lucroy expands his strike zone here. Trying to play run producer with a pitcher coming up next. That one missed, not by much. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Lucroy walks, and the bases are loaded. Daniel Hudson taking a long look in at Brian Gorman behind the plate.
I tell you, if he's going to expand his strike zone, that would have been a pretty good pitch to swing at. That was a cutter that stayed middle in. That was a good pitch to hit.
Well, normally Lucroy very good with breaking balls up in the strike zone. Most big league hitters are. So here is Markham. Markham delivered his first RBI of the season in the 3rd inning. And he's got a big chance to help his own cause on the mound today. A run is in on a Corey Hart homer. And Markham down to the count 0-2. Tried to sneak a fastball by him. 0-2 the count on Markham. Well, Sean up there battling. Who knows? Trying to put it in play. Take his chances. The 0-2 pitch and a swing and a high drive to left. Back is Parra at the wall. Grand slam home run. Are you kidding?
Man.
Sean Markham. How do you do?
On an 0-2 pitch.
Wow. Unbelievable. Markham goes the circuit. A grand slammer, the first of the year for Milwaukee. And it's 6-1 Brewers. His first career home run is a doozy. 5 RBIs today for Markham already. He had none coming in, and he's acting like he's been there before. Wow. The fans want him to come out to tip his cap. And here he comes.
That's awesome. An 0-2 pitch grand slam for Sean Markham.
As Ricky Weeks takes a strike. What a moment here at Miller Park. That is a moment Sean Markham will never forget.
Yeah, nor I.
4th of July at Miller Park. His first major league home run is a grand slam. Milwaukee had been the last team in the big leagues without a grand slam home run until Markham scratches one across.
That's got to be a record for RBIs for a pitcher in a game. I mean, how many guys drive in 5 runs in a game?
Ricky Weeks to right field, a base hit.
I mean, how many position players drive in 5 runs in a game? Gotta be kidding me.
Charles Nagy, the Diamondbacks pitching coach, to the mound. We take it back to the home run. Markham, as if he knew he got it. Look at the bat flip here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got that.
He hit it well. Now into that Brewers bullpen. And a grand slam for Sean Markham. Man, that was way back into that pen. That wasn't one of those wall scrapers.
Marcus Hanel, the Brewers bullpen catcher, going nuts. And in the dugout, about the reaction from Hudson, he can't believe it.
Yeah, Markham's saying, that's my guy. You know, Marcus throws to the pitchers in batting practice. Just like I taught him.
Nigel Morgan, the 9th batter of the inning, started with a home run from Hart. Sean Markham with a grand slam. Weeks followed with a single. Morgan lined out his last time up, robbed of a base hit. Hit a shot right back to the mound. It was in self-defense. Hudson put his glove up in front of his cap, made the catch, and calmly threw to second base for a double play that ended the inning. One ball, 2 strikes on Nigel Morgan. They check on Weeks at first. Even Prince Fielder impressed by the 2-strike power of Sean Markham. Morgan hangs tough. Well, we are searching the record books for a 5 RBI game by a Brewers pitcher. I know Gallardo, was he close? I don't think he had 5 RBIs though, huh?
I don't know. I don't remember
not off the top of my head.
A Brewers pitcher with that many RBIs.
Little cue shot coming in is Stephen Drew. Going to be a tough play. Morgan beats it out. Infield hit. The inning continues. The Brewers will send 10 batters to the plate at least. So Nigel Morgan, they say it all evens out, and I guess it does today for Morgan. He had a shot for an out last inning, and a little cue shot off the end of the bat goes for a hit this time around.
And Nightier's been swinging the bat well. He looks good at the plate right now. Even when he doesn't hit it well, he's got the speed to be able to beat out infield hits.
Here's Corey Hart, who started this 4th inning with a home run to center field. Hart's home run, his 9th of the year. Hart had a 7 RBI game earlier this season. Sean Markham is pushing that mark. A 5 spot in the bottom of the 4th.
It's the first time this year that Daniel Hudson's given up more than 1 home run in a game. He only had 5 home runs allowed coming in.
And he gives up 2 in an inning. Hudson's worst start of the year was against the Cincinnati Reds back in April. He gave up 7 earned runs in 5 1/3. He has been terrific just about every other time on the mound. He's given up 6 here today. 2 on, 2 out, and the 2-1. Hart takes ball 3, and a lot of pitches starting to rack up for Daniel Hudson. The pitch count at 76, 36 of those coming in this inning alone. And Hart in a hitter's count. Goes to 3-2.
A lot of confidence in that changeup. He just threw Corey one on a 3-1 count.
Runners will take off. The 3-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Hard down on strikes. What an inning. And what an inning for Sean Markham. You talk about the unexpected. An 0-2 grand slam home run. His first as a big leaguer. 6-1 Milwaukee on the 4th of July. we take you back to the last Grand Slam home run for Milwaukee. June 14, 2010. Ryan Braun did it on the road in interleague play against the Angels. Against Ron Renicke's Angels, as a matter of fact. And Sean Markham clears the board. The Brewers have become the last team to hit a Grand Slam since that time. The longest drought without a Grand Slam until Markham's 0-2 slammer here in the fourth inning. And just a correction on the scoring. Markham was not given credit for an RBI in the third inning. That was a straight error from Miranda that allowed McGee to score. So no RBI.
I don't get that.
And that's why.
And no sacrifice. I don't get that either.
Yeah, no sacrifice, no RBI.
But that's the way it goes. So that was my mistake. I thought they had given a sacrifice and an RBI, but apparently not.
What it means is that Markham has driven in 4 runs on the Grand Slam, of course, not 5. So just to tidy up some of these scoring decisions, and a monumental moment for Sean Markham. And because he hit that home run in the bullpen, the Brewers bullpen, he'll certainly be able to retrieve that baseball and have one for his trophy case. His first major league home run. You think about the Brewers, this home run hitting team, to be the longest drought without a Grand Slam, going all the way back to last June. A year and a month almost. Every other team had a Grand Slam. As Markham strikes out Miranda to start the 5th inning, his 5th strikeout.
And one of the best home run hitting ball clubs in the major leagues, right? Hey, today's Tower of the Game winner is Brewers Pub and Grill in Omero, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. And it's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. That's what I get for anticipating what an official scoring decision is going to be. I'm not sure how you penalize Markham dropping down a bunt.
Markham makes a play here, and Parra is retired. 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, the sacrifice. Well, that's the way it goes, I guess. Markham doesn't care, I imagine. The run was in. He's got his 4 RBIs.
(6-1) Milwaukee. This is the same score the Brewers had on the Minnesota Twins yesterday after 3.5 innings. The Brewers scored 5 runs in the 4th inning yesterday. They do it again today. Markham with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Daniel Hudson will be replaced by Willie Mopena. Willie Mopena and Sean Burroughs, a couple of guys who were out of baseball, not playing at all, and then getting a chance this season. Pena has incredible power. Just 38 at-bats in the big leagues this year. He already has 4 home runs.
And one of the 2 reclamation projects that Kevin Towers, the general manager for the Diamondbacks, is trying to get through right now. Willie Mopena and Jeff Burroughs. This guy, when he gets a hold of him, he can hit him as far as anybody.
Yeah, like that one. That is way back and gone as Pena sends one almost completely out of the stadium.
Did I just say that? Wow.
Willie Mopena with impressive power, his 5th home run. And it is 6-2 Milwaukee.
That's the way he used to hit him as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals back when he was a young kid. Problem is, he either hits a home run or strikes out. And one of the 2. This time he got a cut fastball up in his zone. 2nd home run for the Diamondbacks. Well, we said coming in, it's going to be the pitching staff that keeps the other team in the ballpark the most that's going to win this series. Already 4 home runs.
Yeah, 2 apiece by the top 2 home run hitting teams in the National League. Pena out over the Harley Davidson deck. That is a long way. That one is ripped down the right field line. That's going to go to the wall. Kelly Johnson with extra bases. And it is a 2-out double for the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter. A 2-out double, and here comes Stephen Drew. With the memory fresh on the minds of the Brewers, that loss yesterday, and Minnesota coming back winning 9-7 after being down 6-1. Markham will try to settle this one down as Drew takes a strike. Drew is 0 for 2 against Markham. Strike 2. Willie Mo Pena pinch hitting for Daniel Hudson.
It's a good day's work for Willie Mo.
Ready for an 0-2 Markham against Drew, and he lays off this time. Tried to get him to chase a changeup. Drew struck out on that changeup in the first inning. Well, Hudson has been one of the best the Diamondbacks have had to offer this year, and the Brewers have chased him after 4 innings. 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. Little bouncer over to Prince, and he'll take it to the bag. That'll retire the side. Markham is through 5. He's given up 2 runs. And the Brewers lead 6-2.
This is Lieutenant Paul DeVorce, stationed in Kabul, Afghanistan. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'd like to give a shout out to my wife Amanda and my son Liam. I'd also like to say, go Brewers.
Lieutenant DeVorce, we appreciate your service, and thanks for that shout out before we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And thanks to all of those who are watching, not just those in the military currently, but the families of members of the military. Prince fielder ready to lead off, the left-hander Alberto Castillo. out of the Diamondbacks bullpen. 6-2, the Brewers lead the Diamondbacks. First game of this 3-game series. Sean Markham with a grand slam home run last inning. It looked like Hudson was pitching around Lucroy to load the bases to get to Markham. Had him quickly 0-2, and then Markham got a hanging breaking ball and hit it out. His first home run as a major leaguer. Brewers with 2 homers in the fourth, Corey Hart and Markham. And now the Diamondbacks bullpen will have to cover a lot of innings the rest of the way.
That's something that's not normally an issue when Daniel Hudson makes a start. Not only has he been very effective, but he's been saving the bullpen just about every time out. That's a rough angle for a left-handed hitter, Castillo. He spent some time with the Orioles back in 08. Did not pitch last couple of years. Got released by the Orioles this June and picked up by the Diamondbacks. They now have 2 lefties in their bullpen to go along with Joe Patterson.
Castillo pitched for Rick Kranitz last year in Baltimore. The last 2 of the last 3 seasons. Full count to Fielder. Prince is 1 out of 2. Had a base hit beating the shift his last time out to the opposite field. And an emergency hack. Fielder is gone on strikes. You don't see many pitchers make Prince Fielder look like that.
Has a good pitch in on his hands that time, and Prince not expecting it. He was thinking that ball was going to be away. A little backdoor cutter, it looked like. Started off the plate, and then Prince realized it better try to get a piece of it. A front door slider. You don't see many of those, lefty versus lefty.
Fielder was just doing all he could to foul it off, stay alive. So Betancourt. Well, you know the Brewers would love to keep the pressure on offensively. Shortest start of the season for Daniel Hudson, just 4 innings. Matter of fact, Hudson with only 1 start this year, less than 6 innings. He went 5 1/3 in that game against the Reds where he gave up 7 runs. Hudson did a number on the Brewers last year. He pitched against Milwaukee in August and went 7 innings, just 2 runs. He was the winning pitcher against Milwaukee. He's been pitching like an ace for the Diamondbacks, but not on this day.
It was really one mistake, right? Yeah, the bad mistake with the bases loaded to Sean Markham for the grand slam. Well, that turned things around quickly in this game. Who would have thought?
Took a 2-1 game and to a 6-1 game. The Diamondbacks got one back last inning from Pena. As Betancourt fouls out, and 2 away in the 5th inning. Hey, if you ever wonder what happened to former Brewer slugger Rob Deere, one of the heroes of the team's 13-0 start at 87, you can find out. FoxSportsWisconsin.com and our regular Where Are They Now feature. Plus, get all the reaction to the Brewers and their 3 starters this season at the All-Star game.
I could tell everybody right now what he's doing.
I know you don't want to bury the lead, though.
No. I talk to Rooster every couple of weeks, and I'll leave it at that.
Did you provide any of the support information for that article?
I wasn't asked.
Oh. Mark Kotze with a base hit. A 2-out single. Kotze's bat starting to come around a little bit. He lined out his last time up. Had a good swing. Drove one to deep left center. Kotze yesterday had 2 hits, including his first Brewers home run.
Yeah, last time out, lined out hard to center field on a nice play out there by Chris Young. And hits a bullet into right field. Not sure who he's looking at, but probably saying, see there, I know I could find a hole.
Here's Casey McGee, 2 for 2 today.
Either that or he's looking at Ron Renicky saying, I can hit left-handers.
Now Renicky, a left-handed batter himself as a player, probably had something to say about the lefty-lefty matchup.
They might have been thinking in that dugout to pinch hit, perhaps.
Kotsay maybe talked his way in.
Say, I'm going to get a hit. And he did.
Well, the Brewers have given their manager a lot to smile about today. Well, Renicky had to answer a lot of questions before the game about Casey McGee and his return to the lineup. Matt Gamble played third base yesterday. But they talked about the plan for Casey McGee because he is such a grinder, a mental grinder of the game of baseball. He's not a guy who, you know, when he's going bad, he takes more cuts, more batting practice.
Yeah, you have to lock him out of the batting cage sometimes. And I'm sure that that's what went on back in Minnesota.
So they told McGee just to take 2 days off. You're going to take 2 days off. You know, flip that switch mentally. Then we'll see you Monday. He did pinch hit yesterday.
And a big spot. That's what always happens, right? You take a mental day off and then go up there and win the game for us.
By the way, you're the last hope. So good luck.
That's the game of baseball for you.
And that's what happened. Ryan Braun not available to hit yesterday. That calf injury. Let's put it this way. When the conversation with McGee occurred, Braun was not injured. But true to his word, Renicky puts him back in the starting lineup, and McGee delivers. A double and a run scored in the third inning. He singled and scored a run in the fourth. Full count. Alberto Castillo facing McGee. Kotsay will be on the move, and McGee lines one to left field over his Parra. He's got it for the out, and the side retired. We go to the sixth inning at Miller Park. 6-2 Brewers. Slam by pitcher Sean Markham, and that is the difference right now. 6-2 as we go to the sixth inning on a beautiful day at Miller Park. Justin Upton will lead off, and no doubt about Upton's power. He is the Diamondbacks All-Star, and he hit a 478-foot home run against Chris Carpenter this year. That was back on April 12th. Carpenter's never given up one that far, and Upton showing some of that impressive power.
Upton had a huge month of June. Almost as good a month as Prince Fielder had.
Earning him a spot in the All-Star game. Fielder has the only home run longer than Justin Upton's this year. That home run he hit in Houston. Well, remember this? Prince Fielder against Brett Myers, 486 feet. I'll never forget that one because the initial distance on that posted by the Astros scoreboard said 450 feet. They just kind of mailed it in, said, yeah, it looks like 450. And then they actually went out and measured it, lasered it, however they do that, 486 feet. As Upton lines one to left, a base hit. So you have a matchup of two guys standing together at first base now with the two longest home runs of the year in Major League Baseball. What it must be like to hit one that far.
Yeah.
What do you think the longest home run you ever hit?
Oh, I know exactly what it was.
What was it?
I was a California Angel against the Brewers. That was the beginning of the tail of the tape. It wasn't as accurate as it is now. 442.
Oh, nice, Rock.
And whom? And it was a grand slam against Bill Wegman.
442. That's deep. Pulled it into left center.
You know, Tim Meade at the time, he was the guy in charge of all that. He was the Mike Vassallo of the California Angels back in those days. You know, the big wheel, Lance Parrish, had one at 441. You know, and Tim and I were pretty tight. So he gave me that extra foot.
Nice. I'm sure the big wheel doesn't mind.
No.
Lance Parrish. He launched off a few 500-foot home runs in his career.
Yeah, it wasn't anything to him. That was an important thing for me.
Yeah. Tim Meade said, you know, Schroeder, he could really use something like that. I
could use something like that, yeah. So all year long, I was at the top of the tail of the tape board as they put it up every day.
Nice. That's a long ways.
At least I had that going for me.
Yeah, that's a lot. 442 feet.
Mike Vassallo, on the other hand, would have had it at 440. Would have made me feel bad all year.
Yeah, he would. He likes doing that.
He does, doesn't he?
One ball, one strike on Young. 2-1. Chris Young is 0 for 2 against Markham. Now the Diamondbacks scoring both of their runs on homers. Solo homers. Miguel Montero in the 4th. And Willie Mo Pena pinch hitting in the 5th inning. A short start for Daniel Hudson. Goes just 4 today. Markham a little frustrated. Now behind in the count, 3-1. Young lays off. So 2 on to start the inning. And now Markham will have to deal with Miguel Montero. 2 on, nobody out here in the 6th. We'll come out to Miller Park as we honor the legacy of the Negro Leagues at the Negro Leagues tribute game on Saturday. The Brewers take on the Cincinnati Reds, celebrate the Milwaukee Bears, the city's 1923 representative in the Negro National League. For tickets, visit brewers.com. Now Markham in a big spot here in the 6th inning, sitting on a 4-run lead with the home run hitting Diamondbacks. With 2 on, nobody out, Montero went deep against Markham back in the 4th.
Yeah, Montero got a fastball away. It was supposed to be inside, and he knocked it into that Diamondbacks bullpen, a line drive. The Diamondbacks haven't seen much of Markham. He beat him last year, the only time he's faced Arizona. It was a 12-4 win for Toronto. The Diamondbacks seem to be getting better swings, seeing Markham's pitches a little bit better as the game goes on.
Broken bat. Fielder goes to second for 1. The return throw is in time. Markham covered the bag, and it goes as a 3-6-1 double play. Nicely executed by the Brewers.
Yeah, had the right guy at the plate to turn a double play. You know, Prince took his time with the throw over to second base to make sure that he wasn't going to hit the runner getting over there. And Markham getting over there quickly, able to double up the Diamondbacks catcher. Good turn by Betancourt, and you can see Markham waiting for it at first base. Well done.
So 2 outs. Upton advances to third base, and it is Sean Burroughs. Burroughs returning to the major leagues. Had a substance abuse problem. There's a great article written by Jim Capel about Sean Burroughs and his comeback. Very Josh Hamilton-like return. Don't know about his success at the major league level yet like Hamilton, but he was a long way away from the major leagues last year. Matter of fact, in that article by Jim Capel, Burroughs was quoted as saying early in the 2010 year you could have seen him somewhere in Las Vegas maybe digging through trash for food, for hamburgers.
Yeah, things got pretty bad. You got to hit bottom to work your way up, I guess.
Bouncing ball, and that is going to get past Weeks, and Weeks throws it into the dugout. So Burroughs will advance to second base. A run scores. An ill-advised throw from Ricky Weeks.
Yeah, no sense in making that throw. There's no chance to get the runner. It's going to be an RBI for Burroughs and an E4. So well, both teams committing errors. 4 errors combined so far, 2 for each.
6-3 Milwaukee. The Diamondbacks with another run here in the 6th inning. Markham frustrated he didn't glove that ball. So the Diamondbacks now with a runner at second after the error. Second RBI in the major leagues for Burroughs this year. And here is Juan Miranda. Sean Burroughs is the son of Jeff Burroughs, former MVP of the American League as a Texas Ranger, the '74 MVP. And this is the Sean Burroughs you might remember from the Little League World Series. 2-time Little League World Series champs in Long Beach. And he was the big celebrity on that Little League team back in the early 90s.
Yeah, he was a big prospect, a bonus baby for the Padres. Kevin Towers, we talked about the Kevin Towers connection with Sean Burroughs, both of them with the Padres, and he spent a year with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays back in those days, back in '06. Good story, though.
And Towers giving Burroughs another shot. That one's hit well right field. That is going to be over the head of Corey Hart. Another run is coming in. Burroughs will score as Miranda doubles. And the Diamondbacks are chipping away. It is now 6-4 Milwaukee.
Man, that ball hit well. Off speed pitch up in the strike zone. And well, it looked as though Markham was going to be able to get out of this inning after that double play, but back-to-back RBI base hits. That pitch right down the middle up in the zone. And Miranda, who has been struggling this year, coming in at a little over 200, able to double off the wall to drive in another run. So back-to-back 2-out base hits have the Diamondbacks right back in the game.
Quick trip to the mound for Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach. That base hit by Miranda snaps an 0 for 17 streak at the plate. And he has made it a 2-run game. The Diamondbacks will bring the tying run to the plate as LaTroy Hawkins begins to get loose. 2 outs in the inning. 2 runs in for Arizona and a strike from Markham. Milwaukee let a 6-1 lead get by yesterday. Hara singled off Markham in the 3rd.
Man, you got to figure it's not fatigue for Sean Markham. He's only at 84 pitches. And he should feel pretty good. He's having a tough time getting the ball down right now.
Little tapper. Markham makes a play. And the side retired. So Markham bends. The Diamondbacks have made it a game again. 2 runs in. It's 6-4 Brewers. Presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness.
Hello, everybody back home. It's Corporal Boucher here in Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan. I just want to give a shout out to all my friends, my family, and I want to say, go Milwaukee Brewers! Woo!
Corporal Boucher, enthusiastic from Afghanistan, and we appreciate that.
It's going to be good for a couple of runs at least, right?
I hope you're having a great 4th of July, wherever you are. 6-4 is our score. The Brewers lead by 2. The new pitcher is Micah Owings. He's had some good success out of Kirk Gibson's bullpen this year. 3rd pitcher for Arizona. Hudson went 4. Castillo a scoreless 5th inning. Now it's Owings.
Yeah, second time that he's been with the Diamondbacks, and between stints with Arizona, he was with the Reds. Well, this is a guy that got a pretty good arm but can swing the bat. I mean, he's more known, I guess, for his offense than his pitching, although he's having a pretty good season on the mound.
Be interesting to see if Gibson uses Owings to lead off the 7th inning. Pitcher spot due up first in the 7th.
That 13th appearance for Owings at 296 earned run average, and he's started a couple of games.
2-2 to Lucroy. He fouls it right off his foot. Craig Counsell will hit next for Milwaukee. So Markham with 6 innings here today. 4 runs in on 7 Diamondbacks hits. Markham will leave in line for the victory. And Markham did most of the damage with his bat with that grand slam home run in the 4th inning. Lucroy, a bouncer to short. Stephen Drew with a good arm makes the play for out number 1. The Powerball home run count. Sean Markham #1 in a lot of areas. First grand slam, first home run of his big league career. The first grand slam for the Brewers since last June, and it came on an 0-2 pitch. What a great feeling for Sean Markham. And now he is hoping that the Brewers bullpen will take him the rest of the way for a victory. Counsell pinch hitting. He is 4 for 23 this year. He is the franchise leader in career pinch hits with 37.
Hey, Craig got a couple of starts in that Minnesota series, one at third, one at second. And Ron Renicky giving him a few at bats. Craig just hasn't seemed to be able to get it going like he did last year.
Counsell 0 for his last 21. Trying to reach for the top of the order, Ricky Weeks. It's tough as a pinch hitter when you get into a hitless streak like that. It can linger on for a while without the regular at bats.
Yeah, Katse had a long one going before he got a base hit.
Oh, that hit him. Owings coming right in on Craig Counsell, hits him with a 2-strike pitch.
Yep, right on the foot.
So a base runner with 1 away. And back to the top of the order. Take a look.
I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. Slider maybe, got him right on the toe of the front foot. I guess with 2 strikes, any hitter will take that. That's not going to hurt too bad.
So a man on for Weeks. Well, the Brewers could use a quick strike once again to tack a few runs on. Arizona scoring 2 in the top of this inning as Weeks sends one foul, just missed the bag at third. That was close. That had a chance to score. Counsell from first base.
It would have been interesting because Parr out and left has a very good throwing arm. Now bounces in fair territory, but you can clearly see it hooks past the bag in foul territory.
Ricky singled his last time up in the 4th inning. Reached on an error in the 1st inning. He's been on twice. He is 1 for 3 today. Ricky Weeks told Prince Fielder if Prince asks him to be in the home run derby, he will definitely participate. We should find that out tomorrow. Well, that would be quite a scene if you not only would have 2 Brewers in the home run derby. Fielder gets the choice, but he'll be diplomatic about it. He already said he is going to choose Matt Kemp for sure, who is the National League home run leader. But here are 2 guys that grew up together. They've known each other since they were 12 years old. And to be on a big stage at the home run derby in Phoenix next week.
Yeah, you figure nothing really is going to affect Ricky Weeks. I mean, he's not going to be nervous, and if you've ever seen Brewers batting practice before games, Ricky Weeks would be an excellent choice.
That's for sure. He hits them as far as Braun and Fielder easily.
Right.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Weeks lines one to short. Drew makes the play. Out number 2. Counsell still at first base. We have gone from 16 to the final 2 greatest moments in MLB All-Star Game history. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite Midsummer Classic moment. Cal Ripken's final All-Star Game in 2001 or 1955 when Stan Musial hit a walk-off home run in the 12th inning. Tune into the 2011 MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 12th, 7 Central on Fox to find out who won. Who are you going with, Rock? Cal Ripken or Stan Musial?
Stan the man, probably. But that Cal Ripken scene was a great one. You can't make that stuff up. I mean, it just happens, doesn't it?
In Seattle.
Yeah.
I remember that was the game Alex Rodriguez took his position at third base, moving Cal Ripken over to shortstop for one last appearance at the shortstop position. Two outs, Counsell at first. Nigel Morgan at the plate. Well, for the second straight game, the Brewers have had an early 6-1 lead. A 5-run 4th inning yesterday, a 5-run 4th inning here today. Hoping for a better result than yesterday in Minnesota.
The way this Diamondbacks club can swing the bats and they can put runs up, Brewers should not be content with 6. I'd be very surprised if 6 runs wins this game today.
Looks like Hawkins will have the 7th inning, loosening in the bullpen. Nigel Morgan reached on an infield hit his last time up after he lined out in the 3rd inning. 1 out of 3 today. He was part of that big comeback Saturday in Minneapolis. Drove in 4 runs. Had a 2-run homer that jump-started the offense after the Brewers were down 7-0. His home run occurred when it was 7-1. And then he had the 2 RBI double off the wall that tied the game in the 9th inning. Morgan would end up scoring the winning run.
And if you were a betting man and you said that Nigel Morgan would be close to a cycle, who would have guessed he was a single short of the cycle?
That's right.
Of all things.
Just ran out of innings. Turned 31 on Saturday. 2-2 pitch. Morgan fouls it away. Good battle going here between Morgan and Micah Owings. Corey Hart would be next if Morgan can reach. They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't, says Manny Gonzalez. And the count goes full. Able to check his swing. That'll give Counsell a head start at first. Outfield playing pretty shallow against Nigel Morgan. 3-2 pitch. Counsell goes and a base hit center field. Counsell will not challenge the arm of Young. Good battle there for Nigel Morgan. 2 hits today, 2 for 4 at the plate. he extends the inning for Corey Hart.
And the hardest ball that he hit all day ended up being a double play. That line drive back to the pitcher that was caught. An infield hit, and vintage Nyjer Morgan just slapping one back through the middle on a high fastball. Got down on the count early, able to fight his way back and get the base hit.
All hands at short stride, and he slaps one to center. Now Hart with a chance with 2 on, 2 outs in the inning. Hart fouls it away. Hart with an even 200 at bats now. Remember, he missed the first month. Guys like Fielder and Braun, they're pushing 300 at bats at this point. So Corey with 8 home runs, now 9 home runs after his long ball in the 4th, and 23 runs batted in. This is the 57th game of the year for Corey Hart. And he went, and Hart strikes out. The Brewers strand 2. Owings a scoreless 6th. We head to the 7th inning, a tight one at Miller Park. 6-4 Brewers.
There are a lot of home runs like we talked about before the game. In fact, Montero gets things started. Then Corey Hart crushed one off the scoreboard. After that, maybe the shot of the game. Markham with a grand slam, his first career home run. And as you said, B.A., he's going to get the ball. William Opeña then comes up with a pinch hit home run. And right now, the Brewers lead us 6-4 as we go into the 7th inning. But a lot of fireworks going off here on this 4th of July, and we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, no question about that. The 2 top home run hitting teams in the National League doing just that today. 6-4 our score as we head to the 7th, and LaTroy Hawkins is coming in to pitch for Milwaukee. They face a pinch hitter in Ryan Roberts.
You see the numbers for Hawk, and the 7th inning is his. You get Hawkins for the 7th, Cameron Lowe for the 8th, and then you hope to nail it down with John Axford in the 9th. And Hawkins has not allowed a run since his first appearance of the year. 22 consecutive scoreless outings.
Ryan Roberts takes a strike. Cameron Lowe yesterday went an inning and a third. One of the benefits of having Takashi Saito back in the bullpen, although Renicky will be very careful with him in his early outings after his return. He does give you another arm down there as Roberts sends one back up the middle, a base hit. Just like that, the Diamondbacks again bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, that's right. It might be Saito in the 8th. You never know. There are some options that Renicky has not had throughout the season. Good to have Saito back. He threw well his first time out.
Matter of fact, Saito was the winning pitcher Saturday, the lone win the Brewers had on the road trip. So here is Kelly Johnson. Back to the top of the Diamondbacks order. A power hitting second baseman, Kelly Johnson. Bouncing ball. Weeks is over. He gloves. And he fires, and it's in time for the out. Ricky covered a lot of ground there. First out of the inning. Roberts ends up at second base.
Well, Johnson picking on that pitch early. Jammed him just a little bit, did Hawkins, and Ricky making a nice throw over to first base, taking his time, not rushing the throw. Anytime you get jammed up there at the plate, it takes a little bit longer to get out of the box.
It was a good play by Weeks. And it'll be Stephen Drew now. Hitless today. He's 0 for 3. In there with a strike. Hawkins has not pitched since Friday, when a third of an inning, as Rock mentioned. That did have a couple of strikeouts in that game. Oh, and 2 the count on Stephen Drew.
Yeah, Hawkins has had pretty good command lately. Keeping the pitches down in the strike zone on the corners. And has been very careful with that slider, saving that pitch for a put-away pitch.
Slow to return after shoulder surgery last year. Was pitching so well, it was a calculated return for Hawkins. They're being very careful with his pitch count when he pitched, back-to-back games. But the staff was basically leaving it up to Hawkins to let them know when he felt like he was ready for meaningful innings, and that happened in Chicago. Last month, in the middle of June, he went to Ron Renicky, said, "I'm ready for the 7th, or wherever you need me." Base hit back up the middle, and here comes Roberts. The throw from Morgan cut off, and the Diamondbacks are within a run now. An RBI single for Stephen Drew. He did it on a 2-strike pitch.
They've got one up in the zone and able to hit it hard into center field. The Diamondbacks have scored runs in each of the last 4 innings. Well, the Brewers have been shut down the last couple. As that pitch ends up right down the middle. And Drew able to bang it into center field, and the pinch hitter able to score.
6-5, the Brewers lead by just a run now. After leading 6-1 after 4 complete. 4 unanswered runs for Arizona. Well, the power in this batting order is coming up. Justin Upton, followed by Chris Young. Big cut from Upton.
Yeah, good velocity from Hawkins. 95. That's one of the best fastballs that we've seen from Hawk. It's a good thing he had something on it, because it was up. Upton, a very good high ball hitter, as well as the guy on deck, Chris Young.
39-year-old Hawkins and the 23-year-old Upton. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at first. The tying run. Hawkins will check on Drew. Upton selected as a reserve for the National League All-Star team, his second All-Star appearance, and he'll be the unofficial host in Phoenix, Arizona for the All-Star game next week. One and two, good pitch. Hawkins' velocity slowly coming back. That was the big issue early in the season, the fact that he was throwing in the low 90s. And while he said his arm felt fine, the surgically repaired shoulder didn't bother him. There was no velocity in there, not the kind of velocity that Hawkins needs to survive.
And that's what he was known for when he was having his big seasons out of the bullpen. Big fastball, using it up in the zone.
The 1-2. And a foul out of play into the net.
Now you can get away with high fastballs at 94 to 96, but when you're down around 91, 92, major league hitters can get a piece of those, hit them hard.
Got a runner at first with 1 away. Diamondbacks within a run. And Upton takes one high. Ball 2. Hawkins giving up his first run in his last 23 outings. Had a 22-game stretch which covered 20 innings without allowing an earned run. But the Diamondbacks score here in the 7th on 2 hits.
I tell you, either Hawkins is finding about 3 or 4 miles an hour here today, or that gun here at Miller Park is a bit hot. That last one at 97. He hasn't been anywhere close to that this year. Fountain of youth for LaTroy Hawkins here at Miller Park.
Thanks to the surgeon's scalpel. Well, judging by the swing from Upton, got the fastball by him. You see a lot of pitches up in the strike zone and away against Upton. See what he does with him here. Dangerous bat for the Diamondbacks. 2-2 the count. Upton representing the go-ahead run. And a swing and a miss. He goes up the ladder. 96-mile-an-hour fastball for Hawkins.
And this time it was up and in. Just not able to get the barrel of the bat on it. You have to start that bat very early to get to a big fastball up and in. It was supposed to be away, but a good miss by LaTroy Hawkins. Up and in, getting Justin Upton.
Well, that is a welcome sight indeed. Power out of that bullpen. 2 outs, and here is Chris Young. Young is the Diamondbacks leader in home runs with 16. Has 46 runs batted in. Also a club high. There's a good fastball on the corner.
And Chris Young in his earlier days was a guy that pulled everything. Most of his power comes to left, but he has learned as he's gone along to drive that ball back into the middle and the right center. And a little bit tougher of an out now than he was.
Young's coming off a big series in Oakland. Had 5 hits in the series, including a home run and 4 RBIs. Doesn't bite on the high fastball. 1-1 the count. Most of Young's home runs have come at Chase Field this year, 11 of his 16. Only Fielder has more home runs with 13. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a flare foul. Fielder will give it a look. That is in the seats. Game 2 tomorrow of this 3-game series, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. We're on the air at 6:30. Pitching matchup tomorrow, a couple of lefties. Zach Duke for the Diamondbacks against Randy Wolf for Milwaukee. No television on Wednesday. We're back on the air Thursday against Cincinnati, and that'll start a 4-game series with the division rival. Crowd trying to help out LaTroy Hawkins. 2 outs and a runner at first. Got him down in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Bouncing ball to Betancourt. Goes to second, and the inning is over. The Diamondbacks chip it away, though. That is 1 more run on the board. They are now within a run, 6-5 Milwaukee. And in special recognition of the military, USAA now presents the singing of God Bless America.
From Milwaukee's own Street Life.
God bless America, land that's our love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home.
4th of July baseball here at Miller Park, and Prince Fielder on the first pitch rips one to right field for a base hit. And a good way to start the inning. Joe Patterson, the new pitcher. We check in with Craig Kashawn and Davey Nelson.
All right, B.A., thanks much, Prince. Nice start here to this inning. Brewers are going to need some tack on runs, no doubt. A lot of fireworks, Davey. How do you see this one panning out based on the last 2 games?
Well, over the last 2 games, it boils right now down to which bullpen is going to be able to hold the opposition.
All right, the starters giving up the home runs in this game. We're getting set for Brewers Live post-game. Hopefully the Brewers can hang on here and start our post-game coverage with a bang here on the 4th of July. B.A.?
All right, thanks, Craig and Davey. Brewers Live to follow. The Brewers looking for their 30th home win of the year. The best home record in baseball. And it will be put to the test. A bouncer. Burrows has it to second for 1. The turn in time. A double play. And the Brewers just continue to struggle in the 5 spot in the batting order. Betancourt put in that spot here tonight or today, and he is 0 for 4.
Now, 35th game for Joe Patterson, the second and last left-hander out in Kirk Gibson's bullpen. A 289 earned run average. Good numbers for Patterson, and an opponent batting average under 200.
Well, once Fielder got the base hit, the Brewers put themselves in the advantage with a right-handed batter against Patterson. But Betancourt bounces into a 5-4-3 double play. Now Patterson with 2 outs facing Kotze. Kotze singled against the left-hander Castillo back in the 5th. Tough on a left-hander. Joe Patterson comes from a angle down, coming out of the second baseman, perhaps. Kotze off the end of the bat, little flare. Back is Johnson. He's got it, and the side retired. Promising start. A double play wiped it out, and now we go to the 8th. Cameron Lowe back on the mound.
Yeah, we saw some very good teams, but we didn't play well. I wish we would have played well and then matched up with some really good teams. That would have been fun to see. We didn't play well.
Manager Ron Renicky commenting on the question about the road trip. The Brewers go 1-5 on the road trip, and they struggled on pretty much every facet of the game, including the defensive side. I think the Brewers, while it didn't maybe show up in a lot of errors, just did not do what they were supposed to do defensively in a number of situations, and the pitching was not what we have been accustomed to this season.
Kind of a microcosm of the entire season. 4-2 in interleague play at home. Not so good on the road.
So Cameron Lowe on to pitch. He is back out there. Lowe yesterday took the loss in Minneapolis. And Renicky puts him right back on the horse today. It's a 7th inning comeback for the Twins. Lowe pitched a scoreless 8th inning yesterday after he got the final out of the 7th.
Yep, 44 appearances now for Cameron Lowe, and that's good for second all alone in the major leagues this year. Well, he has had a lot of work so far.
The long shadows coming in through the panels here. Advantage pitcher. No balls and 2 strikes on Montero, and he lines one, base hit center field. Well, the Diamondbacks are keeping the pressure on Milwaukee. Arizona has scored in each of the last 4 innings. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question, Mark wants to know, is there a limit to how many times a catcher can visit the mound in an inning?
No, there's not. There really isn't, but the umpire is going to limit that somewhat. I mean, you can't go out there every other pitch. Umpire will pull you back. It's never happened, I don't recall, but there's no limit in the rule book.
Here is Sean Burroughs, who drove in a run on an infield hit in the 6th. And a strike from Lowe. Brewers looking for a double play. The runner goes. Hit and run is on. Burroughs lines one to left. Kotze's throw to third. And they're going to get him at third base.
Nice throw.
Montero runs right into the out as Kotze guns one down.
Yep,
huge play.
Right on the money. A couple of hops. And I know Kirk Gibson not happy with that, especially with nobody out. But a nice play. He was running on the pitch. That was the surprise number 1. And ordinarily on a base hit to left like that, you've got to make sure you can make it. You never want to make the first out at third base, or the last out for that matter. And Montero out easily, and Casey able to apply the tag. Good throw by Kotze.
Could be a big one. Instead of 2 on, nobody out. Lowe is a ground ball double play of getting out of this 8th inning. Here is Juan Miranda, and he takes a ball down and in. Well, Montero had the play right in front of him. And Kotze, an accurate throw to get him easily. Miranda doubled in a run in the 6th inning. Sean Markham's final inning. Markham went 6, gave up 4 earned runs. He is in line for his 8th win. That one is hit hard center field. This is trouble. Back is Morgan. That is off the wall. Burroughs around third. He is going to try to score. Betancourt's throw to the plate. Gets by Lucroy. A throw to third. And out is the call at third base. But the game is tied. Another out on the base paths.
Boy, that ball just smoked into center field. Not exactly sure where the third base umpire Manny Gonzalez was. I mean, he was out in left field. He came running in after the play was made at third, tapping his chest, saying, "Is that my call?" And then he called him out. Very interesting play, and that's why Kirk Gibson's out there arguing. He looked like he was out. But I'm not sure why he was so far away from the play. Well, that ball just smoked into center field by Miranda, who was having a tough season and back-to-back extra base hits.
It'll be a double for Miranda, an RBI to tie this game. 6-6, we're all even up. The first 3 batters with hits, both of the outs coming at third base. Cameron Lowe having another tough day on the mound. Very fortunate to have just given up 1 run at this point.
Yep, a 7-5 put out and a 2-5 put out. The only outs recorded.
And there's another base hit. Gerardo Parra singles to left. 4 straight hits for the Diamondbacks. And we sit here with 2 outs and just 1 in. Take you back to the double by Miranda. A throw that got away from Lucroy. They had a chance at an out.
Now where's the umpire? I mean, where's Manny Gonzalez, the umpire? Right about there. He's going to start running in. He's going to tap his chest. You still don't see him. And finally he's going to come in. He's way back. I don't know why he's at third base. Why is he so far out of, from the play? Taps his shoulder. I'm not sure why he does that, and then he calls him out.
Well, Ron Renicky is going to make a double switch here, trying to get the final out of this 8th inning. Cameron Lowe is in a pitching slump right now. His last 2 outings have been rough ones. The Brewers have let a 6-1 lead get away once again. Still tied. Axford coming in. They have scored 5 unanswered runs, and for the 2nd consecutive day, the Brewers have let a 6-1 lead get away. A double switch. Carlos Gomez will come into play center field, and Nigel Morgan moves over to left.
Certainly not, I would imagine, the way Ron Renicky was thinking this one was going to go after still another 6-1 lead. Axford in the 8th inning, his 39th appearance. Another rough day at the office for Cameron Lowe.
Lowe able to get 2 outs, but none of the outs coming at the plate. The Diamondbacks running themselves out of a huge inning. So here is Axford in a tie ball game, and he puts that one right by Xavier Nady. Nady, the pinch hitter. It's the 3rd pinch hitter used in this spot so far today. Remember, the Diamondback starter Daniel Hudson chased after 4 innings, but his offense has taken him off the hook.
2 guys left for Kirk Gibson, Willie Bloomquist and Henry Blanco, the backup catcher.
2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th, the Brewers will have the bottom of the order. Casey McGee, Jonathan Lucroy, and Carlos Gomez. And Axford trying to get the final 4 outs, hoping his club can get him some runs in the bottom of this frame. The 1-2, Nady lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Nady as a pinch hitter, 4 for 17 this year. Part-time duty over at first base. 2-2 pitch. Nady swings and misses. Axford strikes him out. And the inning is over, but not before the Arizona Diamondbacks tie it up. And with some shoddy base running, the Brewers still fortunate to be in a tie. Fourth of July fireworks, and you figure with the 2 top home run hitting teams in the National League, you'd see it today, and we have 4 home runs in this game. Montero went deep in the 4th. Corey Hart put the Brewers back ahead in the bottom of the 4th inning, and then Sean Markham, an unexpected home run, a grand slam, made it 6-1. The Brewers were open to put this one on cruise control, but not the case. For the 2nd straight day, they have let a team back in. Willie Mopena homered for Arizona in the 5th. The Diamondbacks get runs in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. And it is now 6-6. The Brewers with 97 home runs for the season. The Diamondbacks with 96. And 2 apiece today as Sam Demmel is on to pitch for Arizona. We go to the bottom of the 8th. All tied at 6 with Casey McGee leading off.
You see some pretty good numbers coming out of the Diamondbacks bullpen. Yeah, the 2 left-handers and now Demmel.
McGee, Lucroy, and Carlos Gomez. Casey McGee at the plate, presented by Wendy's. 2 for 3. He lined out his last time up. He's had 3 good at-bats. One ball, 1 strike.
And Casey trying to knock one out of here.
Demmel working from the stretch despite nobody on. Right off the end of the bat. Out to Kelly Johnson for out number 1. Well, it has to be frustrating for the Brewers to get sizable leads with their 2 best pitchers in Greinke and Markham. And and give them both away in consecutive games.
In back-to-back games using a lot of your bullpen. And remember that bullpen just a bit shorter than it has been all year. Only 6 out there for the Brewers. Brewers are trying to get through the first half until the All-Star break with just 6 relievers. It's going to be tough to keep getting short starts.
Here's Lucroy. Well, Cameron Lowe goes a third of an inning, gives up 4 hits and a run. Axford finishes off the 8th and will come back out for the 9th. Lucroy gets sawed off. Easy play for Johnson, out number 2.
Yeah, who would have thought this Brewers offense would be shut down except for a Sean Markham grand slam. Position players responsible for only 2 runs. Actually, it was his bunt that drove in another.
Well, the Brewers have 11 hits today. Well, here is Gomez, his first at bat. He came in on the double switch. Looking ahead to the Diamondbacks' 9th inning, they have the top of the order coming up. Kelly Johnson, Stephen Drew, Justin Upton against John Axford. The sellout crowd has gone mostly quiet here. 0-2 the count. $41,622 the official attendance. 12th sellout of the year for the Brewers here at Miller Park. Well, it is going to be a final at-bat win for someone today. Gomez with 6 homers, 17 RBIs. Down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. And it evens at 2-2.
Just figure out some way to get on base for Gomez. Steal second and have Ricky drive him in. Doesn't take much to score Gomez from anywhere on the bases.
Well, you'd love to get Ricky Weeks an at-bat in this inning. The 2-2 pitch. Gomez bounces one to short. Drew coming in. The throw is in time for the out. And we're headed for the 9th. All tied at 6. And here we go to the 9th inning, all tied at 6. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers. First game of this 3-game series. Axford finished off the 8th inning with a strikeout on Nady, and now he will start the 9th. Top of the order coming up. Kelly Johnson leads off, and he drops a bunt down. This is a good one. Fielder Axford grabs it, and Johnson beats it out. An infield bunt single.
Man, couldn't have rolled it out there any better than that. That was a nice bunt. Man, kind of in no man's land. Nobody really sure who's going to get it or who's going to cover. You got to figure Axford's got to be a nightmare to try and bunt on, but Kelly Johnson able to drop down a beauty. Axford made it relatively close, though. That was a nice play picking it up.
He had the only chance at Johnson, and by that much Kelly Johnson beats it out. And the go-ahead run is aboard. We'll see if Drew is up there to bunt now.
4 straight innings the Diamondbacks have had their leadoff hitter on.
And the Diamondbacks have scored in the last 5 innings to chip away at a 6-1 deficit. Drew had an RBI single in the 7th. Squaring early, and he pops it up. Lucroy makes the catch.
Yeah, that's what most guys are going to do, bunting on Axford. High fastballs in the mid to upper 90s. That is something that Kirk Gibson will not tolerate. See the barrel of the bat dropping, and the only thing you can do when that happens is pop it up, and that's what he did.
Now 1 gone. The Diamondbacks running themselves out of an inning last inning. Now popping up a bunt. One away for Justin Upton. Got Upton and Young here in the 9th inning with a runner at first. Oh, he had a big cut. That is some serious bat speed right there, Justin Upton.
Yes, it is.
You can almost hear the whoosh up here.
And Troy Hawkins got away with some high fastballs, but they were in the 95 to 97 range, and that's where Axford is. It's tough for anybody, even a good fastball hitter, to center on that much velocity up in the strike zone. Got to start that bat very early.
I'm a little surprised that Johnson hasn't tried to steal a base just yet.
He's got 8 stolen bases.
And Axford, a guy who unwinds a little bit from the stretch, figures to be a good matchup to run.
Well, you got the power up. And neither one of these next 2 hitters are really ground ball hitters.
That gets by Lucroy, and Johnson around second base. He advances on the wild pitch. Oh, that is not what the Brewers needed. So now 2 shots at giving the Diamondbacks the lead.
Yeah, fastball down there, very tough on a catcher. I mean, you can block the breaking pitch. You don't expect it down there, and certainly at 97 miles an hour, you don't have time to get down on the knees. You've got to get lucky to keep those in front of you.
Go ahead, run in scoring position now. Johnson with good speed. Axford behind Upton, 2-1. On the corner, 2-2 the count. That is a big pitch for John Axford. Gets him back in it. On the ground to short. Nice easy hop for Betancourt. And Upton retired. Johnson has to hold his ground at second base. 2 outs in the inning.
Good breaking ball from Axford. Able to take enough off it to have Upton out in front.
So it's Chris Young with 2 away. Hitless today. He did walk in the 6th inning. But he made the final out in the 7th with a man on. Axford trying to go an inning and a third here today. Not a bad idea. Johnson dancing off second base. Line drive left field. That is a base hit, and this is going to score a run. Chris Young gives the Diamondbacks the lead. 7-6 Arizona.
A fastball right down the middle, and Chris Young able to center on it. And boy, it's been an amazing game. That's now 6 straight innings that the Diamondbacks have picked up a run. Chris Young looking fastball, got it, and got the bat head out on it and hit a rope in the left. If Niger picks that cleanly, it might be close at home, but he didn't.
And the wild pitch cost the Brewers a run. Arizona leads, and a swing and a miss from Montero. Brewers put up a 5-run 4th inning on the Sean Markham grand slam, but the Diamondbacks just a steady chip away until they finally have taken the lead. Tied it in the 8th, now lead in the 9th. The Brewers will have the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Remember, the Diamondbacks are without their closer, J.J. Putz. David Hernandez has assumed the closer's duties, who was setting up for J.J. Putz very well. Oh, 2 to Montero. Runner goes. Lucroy's throw hits Young, gets into short left field. Young's going to end up at third base. That'll be a stolen base and an error. And the Brewers' troubles continue.
Yep, 3 errors for the Brewers, and that'll be a throwing error on Jonathan. Trying to make up for a pretty good jump. And the only thing ordinarily that happens when you try and rush your throw to second is you throw it away.
Well, that runner at third is big with Axford, with his stuff, with that fastball that is in the upper 90s, a breaking ball he likes to throw in the dirt. The 1-2 to Montero. And he doesn't chase. Montero hanging tough. Montero has 2 hits today. He homered back in the 4th inning, put the Diamondbacks on the board first. Or rather, tied the game. It was the first run for Arizona, his 10th homer. And a single in the 8th inning. It is a big run to leave stranded for Axford. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And Montero sends one to right. Another run is in for Arizona. It is now 8-6 Diamondbacks.
Yep, 7 unanswered runs for the Diamondbacks, and it is a carbon copy just about of yesterday's ball game. Not often you're going to lose back-to-back 6-1 leads. But that's what's happened here today and yesterday.
And it'll be Sean Burroughs. Now the Brewers came back from a 3-run deficit Saturday, scored 4 runs in the 9th inning to win. The lone win on the road trip. And suddenly having a hard time finishing off games from the bullpen. It's 0-2 on Burroughs. Burroughs and Kevin Towers go way back to their days in San Diego. Burroughs was a first-round draft pick by the Padres in '98 and looked like a star on the rise. He was in the big leagues quickly. He was 21 years of age when he was in the major leagues, but out of the big leagues at 25, out of baseball 3 years after that. And here he is at 30 getting a second chance. There's another base hit. So the Diamondbacks was chipping away. Boy, this has been an incredible turnaround. Arizona now has 17 hits in this game. That is the 4th hit of the inning against Axford. And decision time for Ron Renicky.
And the Diamondbacks had 1 hit through the first 3 innings. All this damage really coming from the 5th inning on. Two hits after 4 innings. 15 hits from the 5th inning on.
And Renicky is going to remove Axford from the game, a double switch. (8-6) Arizona, 2 are on. And we will take a break. A pitching change at Miller Park. Of attack in place, and look at that box score. 8 runs on 17 hits.
Look at the bottom of the order, bottom half. A lot of production from Montero all the way down. And even the pinch hitters in the 9th spot. You had Willie Mo Pena with a home run and Roberts with a base hit.
Matt Gamble is going to come in to play left field. It'll be his 2nd career game in left field. He did it last September. As Renicky goes with a double switch, Marco Estrada is on in case the Brewers are able to tie it up. This goes into extra innings. He'll have a pitcher who can give him multiple innings. Morgan will move back to center. Somehow Estrada has to escape this 9th inning. 2 runs are already in on 4 hits against Axford.
Estrada threw the baseball very well. He tossed 2 1/3 scoreless innings in relief on Saturday at Minnesota. It was the bullpen really that gets a lot of credit for that come from behind win on Saturday against the Twins. Rough start by Chris Narveson. Bullpen held the Twins scoreless, allowing the offense to get going in the 9th. And it started with Marco.
So 2 down, and it's Juan Miranda. 2 for 4 here today. That skips by Lucroy. Both runners will advance, and if it can happen badly for the Brewers, it is happening here in this game. We've seen a stolen base, a throwing error by Lucroy, a wild pitch, and now another wild pitch. 2nd and 3rd for Arizona. Now the Brewers have plenty of offense to come back. But Estrada trying to keep it at a 2-run deficit going into the bottom of the 9th. You got the top of the order coming up. Fans getting restless. Can't blame them. Sean Markham started, went 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, hit a grand slam in this game, left with a 6-4 lead. Hawkins gave up a run in an inning, Lowe a run, and Axford now 2. Still 2 that are his responsibility. Full count to Miranda.
That's that sneaky fastball from Marco Estrada at 92 miles an hour. That surprises a lot of hitters.
Full count with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Estrada deals, and Miranda takes ball 4. Bases loaded. Well, the Brewers need Estrada to get a big out here. Give him a chance in the 9th.
You got a tough hitter coming up. Yeah, Parra has been very consistent all year. A good contact hitter.
On the corner, a strike, dropped a changeup in there.
Yeah, good numbers with the bases loaded for Parra, almost 500. That's because he's willing to go to left field, makes good contact, doesn't strike out much.
Bases loaded, full of Diamondbacks. 4 hits in the inning with a walk. The 1-1 from Estrada. Swing and a miss. Took a big cut. 1-2 to count.
Swings right through that 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Estrada up in the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. Estrada strikes out Parra. The inning is over. The Diamondbacks get 2. Last call for the Brewers. Top of the order coming up. Endings are imposed and inflicted. Back up the middle. Betancourt. Oh my God! My goodness! Did that just happen? Finishes are earned and celebrated. Morgan down the right field line. And the Brook Crew pull one out tonight. Nigel Morgan, a walk-off double. It's the last word. The closing act. The final step. The whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. Fielder launches. Prince Fielder. Ball game. And the Brewers will call on some of that Miller Park magic here in the 9th inning. Down 2. The Diamondbacks without their closer, J.J. Putz. They have turned the reins over to David Hernandez, who they acquired in a trade with the Orioles this offseason. Top of the order coming up for Milwaukee. Hernandez has been quite a find for Arizona.
He's got 3 saves. He's 3-2 with a .355 earned run average. Has a good fastball and a sharp breaking overhand curveball.
Well, Weeks able to lay off that breaking ball. 1-1 to count. Right part of the order to do it. Remember, Braun is out, not available to pinch hit either. As Putz sits and watches. Got an elbow injury, and they're going to shut him down till after the All-Star break. 1-2 the count on Weeks. Weeks, Morgan, and Hart. If anybody gets on, Fielder would bat. Milwaukee had a 6-1 lead after 4 innings. Diamondbacks came all the way back, took the lead in the 9th. And down goes Weeks. Breaking ball called strike 3.
Yeah, that's a good hook. That's his best pitch. And when he's able to throw it for strikes, he can be very tough. Fooled Ricky. Ended up catching the inside corner.
One out here is Nigel Morgan. And he drops a bunt, almost caught by Montero. Good try by the Diamondbacks catcher.
That's a tough play. And the toughest part of that play is to find out where that baseball is. Now, if the baseball does not go over the head of the hitter, it's not an out, but you can see that clearly does. Just missed it.
So if you ever bunt one foul, make sure you stand up as tall as you can.
Jump.
Morgan has 2 hits today. Brewers are desperate for a base runner to give him a chance to tie it with a long one. 2 balls and a strike. David Hernandez has been a part-time starter, part-time reliever in the big leagues the last couple of years, pitching for Rick Kranitz in Baltimore. Came to the big leagues as a starting pitcher, but he has found a home in the Diamondbacks bullpen this year.
Yeah, so you figure the Brewers have a pretty good scouting report on Hernandez. Scouting reports are all well and good, but it really doesn't matter until you get up there and see what his pitches do.
Two and two to Nigel Morgan. And he misses upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big fastball from Hernandez. An upper 90s fastball with that kind of breaking ball, and you can see why he has had so much success.
Yeah, as long as he throws the curve for strikes.
See what he gives Nigel Morgan. 3 and 2 the count. Fastball fouled away.
Well, you figure Morgan's going to get fastballs. The last thing he wants to do is walk Morgan and bring the tying run to the plate.
Got some home run hitters coming up in Hart and Fielder. The sellout crowd wants to cheer. They're looking for something to roar about. But it has been a frustrating afternoon here at Miller Park for Brewers fans. As Morgan strikes out, 2 gone in the inning. 2 Ks for David Hernandez.
And he went with a fastball. He got it up in the strike zone, and Nigel not able to get enough of it.
Chris Young, our Menards player of the game at this point. His RBI single in the 9th inning gave the Diamondbacks the lead. And it came with 2 outs. Corey Hart homered off the center field wall, off the scoreboard in center field back in the 4th inning. Hart doing all he can to get Fielder a chance in this 9th inning. Ball and 2 strikes on Hart.
And remember the Diamondbacks with no more left-handers in their bullpen, so if Corey can get on, Prince is going to be able to go after Hernandez here.
Brewers down to their last strike. Two and 2. Hernandez brings it, and Hart strikes out. The ball game is over. Hernandez strikes out the side, and a very frustrating loss for the Milwaukee Brewers. Let a 6-1 lead get away after 4 innings. An 8-6 loss, and it happens in